The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Coming up, sparks fly at the 7th biennial Iron Pour.
And there's still time to jump in the pool.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
The time now is 5 o'clock. I'm Michael Stake.
And I'm Hannah Gokenauer. Students are facing new challenges after a COVID-19 federal program ended. Students across South Dakota are facing new barriers because of the end of a COVID-19 federal program which provided free meals to all students. At a young age, going hungry can stunt brain development, slow body growth, and make it harder to concentrate in class. Sioux Falls School District Superintendent Jane Stavin says the country has an obligation to provide nutrition to all kids. South Dakota has the highest rate of food insecure children among all neighboring states at about 14%.
The Vermilion School District is investigating social media posts made by students. The district sent a notice to parents and guardians regarding a list made by a high school student. School officials raised alarms because the list reportedly included the names of fellow classmates the student had conflicts with. In the note to parents, the district indicated that the incident was investigated and determined to not be a threat to the safety of the school, students, or staff. The names were posted to social media where it was brought to the attention of the school. VSD sent a letter to all of those on the list. According to Vermilion Plain Talk, the superintendent says other students made a copy, adding more names, including those of teachers. The superintendent says they're investigating the copycat letter.
USD's Students for Reproductive Rights and Yotes for Life were featured in USD Today by an article. Following the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, students have been making their voices heard. South Dakota is one of the 14 states to ban abortions. The state's law prohibits abortion procedures and abortion pill prescriptions.
USD hosted the 7th biennial Western Cast Iron Conference. This marks the 3rd Iron Pour in the university's new sculpture yard. The conference that was held Wednesday through Sunday is known for the Iron Pour performance. Before the show, the conference hosts an Iron Carnival, which has fortune-telling, carnival games, and picture opportunities. Conference host, the USD Professor Christopher Meyer, says it takes a community to make the performance happen.
We've taken big blast furnaces and scaled them down to be run by artists, a small group of people. With that, we don't have any of the automation or anything like that, so it's all people powered. It takes a huge community to make something like this happen.
Says it felt like graduate school, getting to tease, encourage, and help one another once again. The WCIAA is a nonprofit organization which educates, demonstrates, and exhibits cast iron art in the region.
South Dakota's graduating class of 2022 has outperformed the nation in ACT scores. The national average for the test was 19.8, while South Dakota students averaged a score of 21.5. Nationally, the score for public schools fell from 20.3 in 2021 to 19.8 in 2022. All the while, South Dakota's public school average remained about 21.6. The ACT composite score encompasses the subscores from English, math, reading, and science.
Still to come, ways to de-stress on campus.
In a world where embracing your identity is a privilege not usually given to the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, the University of South Dakota Spectrum provides community and education for young queer scholars. Sexuality and identity are defined on spectrums, and having a community of open-minded, inclusive peers provides safety. Spectrum is one reason all Coyotes can call the University of South Dakota their home.
This is Coyote News.
A Wakanda resident and ex-pharmacist was arrested on federal drug charges. 46-year-old Cody Cartenson was charged with 1 count of theft in connection with health care and 3 counts of obtaining a controlled substance by fraud, forgery, and deception. Cartenson pled guilty to all accounts last week. He purposefully embezzled, stole, and provided himself with access to a large list of prescription drugs that were all valued at over $100. The maximum penalty for these crimes is 10 years in prison and/or a $250,000 fine.
There's been a new contribution to the South Dakota Freedom Scholarship. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card are adding another $50 million to the scholarship. This is the first needs-based public-private scholarship offered in South Dakota. 2 years ago, they donated $100 million to help launch the Freedom Scholarship. Since then, its donations have increased $225 million from South Dakota's organizations.
Even though summer's over, there's still time to get in the pool. Registration for fall swimming lessons is open now. The lessons take place in the Dakota Dome pool and are instructed by Red Cross certified USD students. Swimmers have the choice of either group or private lessons, and the lessons are open to all ages. Group lessons are $50 and private are $85. The group lessons have 6 levels to accommodate all swimming abilities. Each lesson lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. Registration for fall swimming lessons closes next Wednesday. The lessons start on the 23rd and end December 4th. They begin again in the spring.
D-Days is next week, and Coyote News' Callie Connors is live in the muck to find out more about the week's festivities. Callie?
Thanks, Michael. I'm here with Trevor Sinclair, the Vice President of the D-Days Committee. Trevor?
Hello.
Congratulations on your position as Vice President, first of all. So can you speak a little bit about what you do in your position?
Yeah, so as Vice President for the Dakota Days Committee, I just basically oversee all the events that are going on during this week. So the yearly street dance, any new events we're putting on this year, those are all kind of under me, and I also kind of help the people that we have under us in our subcommittees, help them to find success and make this whole week the most fun it can be for all of our students.
Can you explain the committee's planning process a little bit, and like how early do you begin planning, what goes into that planning process?
So me and Tomby, our president, we sat down and kind of got ourselves together in the spring of last year. And it's funny you asked that because this year we put everything together and we were like, okay, we want to do this, 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 and this. Let's look at what past years have done. We go in, we try and find what past years have done. The only thing we had on document for the whole university was a constitution from 2008. So me and Tomby looked at each other and were like, well, we got to make a lot of this stuff up. And so this whole year we've kind of had to start from scratch, and that's been really fun. And I think that has made a lot of unique events during Dakota Days this year.
What does the D-Days tradition mean to you specifically?
Well, the D-Days tradition has been going on for a very long time. 1914 was the first time that we had a parade, Mr. and Miss Dakota Days. So it's important to maintain that tradition, but we've also taken some of those traditions and warped them to meet like today's community, today's USD, and make it as engaging as possible for our students to have a great Dakota Days week, whatever that looks like for anybody. So.
How can students best participate in D-Days and help to elevate this celebration?
I would just say show up to as many events as possible, get as involved as possible. That's going to lend you to have the most fun. We have events every day of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, the big football game, the parade, the tailgate. Just attend anything you can. We're going to have banners and flyers on social media and the muck. You'll see it. You'll know when things are going on, so just come hang out and be a part of Dakota Days Week. It's the best time to be on campus. It's the best time to be a Coyote, so come hang out.
Is there a certain D-Days celebration that you are most looking forward to?
Yeah, I think this year we've had a few changes from the past years, but most drastically, we've taken a pep rally that normally was there but poorly attended, and we've made it its own event that we can really get students and community members engaged in. And so that's going to be on Monday. At 5:30, it's going to run from 5:30 to 7:30. There's going to be lots of stuff going on, lots of fun games. We're going to have the basketball team do like a three-point contest, dunk contests. You'll be able to meet the D-Days royalty, and then at the end at 7:30, there's going to be a giant fireworks show outside the dome. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be a giant kickoff to the week. So,
Trevor, thank you so much for being here today.
hey, thank you guys. Go Yotes.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Callie Connors.
Thanks, Callie. D-Days week starts this Monday.
Another event happening next week is a dedication ceremony for Founders Park. Founders Park is the new garden area next to President Sheila Gestring's home, the Inman House on Main Street. The space includes extensive landscaping, benches, and a fountain. It was made possible as a gift from USD's alum Chris Clem, who dedicated the park to USD and the Vermilion community as well as his parents. A plaque is installed on the fountain to recognize the family. Gestring says Founders Park is a beautiful, tranquil place designed to be enjoyed by the community. The ceremony will be held next Thursday from 4 to 5:30 in the afternoon, with a reception following the ceremony.
It's midterm week, and Coyote News wants to remind you to take a moment and breathe. Exam weeks can be stressful. Here are a few ways you can take care of yourself and de-stress. Ride a bike, take a walk, meditate, listen to calm music, or take a shower. There are lots of ways you can choose to de-stress.
Next on Coyote Sports, the volleyball and soccer teams get some Summit Leagues wins on the road.
And the football team falls to the Jackrabbits.
This is Coyote News.
The Coyote football team hopes to make up for a big loss in Brookings.
And the Summit League basketball preseason polls are out. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Landon DeBoer.
And I'm Carly Phillips.
The football team will be on the road this weekend to face the Illinois State Redbirds. They'll try to push their record to 2-4 after falling to STSU last weekend. Bob Nielsen's Coyotes won the last 2 games against the Jackrabbits heading into Brookings. Early on, USD was forced to punt, but a Jackrabbit muff and Coyote recovery put them in prime field position. Carson Camp tried to find the end zone but was intercepted by STSU defender Cale Reeder. The Jackrabbits capitalized and scored 2 touchdowns before half to lead 14-3. This one from Mark Gronowski to Jackson Yonke. In the second half, the story wasn't much different as Isaiah Davis took in his 3rd touchdown of the game, and a late stop by the STSU defense would seal the deal for the Jackrabbits. STSU would take this one 28-3. The Coyotes were held to just 44 yards through the air, and the Jackrabbits had over 200 yards rushing on the day.
4 Coyote basketball players have been named the All-Summit League preseason teams. 3 of the 4 were from the men's team, with Mason Archambault, Cruz Perrohunt, and AJ Plitzuweit being selected to the all-preseason second team. Grace Larkins, the 2022 Summit League's 6th Woman of the Year, was also named to the second team. She's the lone USD woman selected. Included in the poll was a preseason ranking in which the women are ranked 2nd and the men are ranked 3rd in the Summit League.
Like most students, the Coyote Crazies are getting ready for Dakota Days. Coyote News' Sydney Funderman is live in the muck to tell us more. Sydney?
Thanks, Landon. I'm here with Caleb Fowler, who is the Coyote Crazy president. Caleb, as we just heard from Landon, we've just played the Jackrabbits this last weekend. How was the student turnout at the game?
Student turnout was really positive. A lot more students were there than we ever thought would actually be up at the game. We always love when students travel for games. It just makes the entire environment even more friendly and even more inviting for our students.
Is there anything special that the Crazies did to prepare for this rivalry game?
The Crazies didn't prepare to travel to the game so much. We prepared more so just with like social media campaigns. We were really focused on trying to get as many students to the game as possible without actually having like a fan bus available.
Saturday is the volleyball team's annual pink game. How are the Crazies going to be showing their support at this?
We'll all be decked out in pink. I know there's some people in the Crazies that have some special like hair dye that they're gonna paint their hair like pink and everything. So the entire student section is gonna be pink. We're all really excited for it. It's one of our favorite games of the season.
And D-Days is next week. What do the Crazies have to show their school spirit throughout the week?
Yeah, so we're helping with the Monday night event that Trevor was speaking about a little bit earlier. So really fun time. We're really excited about that. Excited to just share all of our craziness and our excitement for USD with the public and with the entire student population. After that, we're also involved in the parade, and we're really excited about the game. The game is obviously like a really big deal, so we're really excited to get to go share our support with USD at the football game.
How can students get involved with the Crazies?
Yeah, so on our Instagram, at Coyote Crazies, we actually have a link in our bio where you can just sign up to be a Coyote Crazy. This year we're up to 350 members and it's constantly growing, so really excited. We always enjoy having new Crazies. We're always at all the games and all of these different events that campus holds, so it's just a really fun time for us and really fun when we have more people join the Crazies.
And finally, as you said earlier, the game is the big part of D-Days. Is there anything special that you personally or you along with the Crazies do to get ready for that game?
I don't know if there's anything special. I think we just are all amped up and excited off of everything else that happens in D-Days. It's kind of just about that mindset as a student, though. The game is just so ingrained in D-Days week and D-Days as a whole that we just are excited to get to share that experience with everyone.
Well, Caleb, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Live in the muck for Coyote Sports, I'm Sydney Funderman.
Thanks, Sydney. The Coyote football team will face off against the Southern Illinois Salukis to cap off Dakota Days.
The volleyball team will face Oral Roberts tomorrow night in the SCSC. A win would mean adding to their 3-game win streak, 2 of which came last week against Summit League opponents St. Thomas and Western Illinois. Against St. Thomas, Lola Weideman tallied a match high of 29 digs, helping the Coyotes to a 4-set victory. In their matchup with Western Illinois, Elizabeth Junkie helped the Coyotes to a straight set victory with 17 kills in the game.
The men's golf team's next event will be a 2-day tournament at the Grandover Collegiate in North Carolina beginning October 29th. Yesterday, they finished 7th at the Greer-Jones Shocker Invitational in Wichita. The Coyotes saw 3 golfers finish in top spots, with Max Schmidtke, Hunter Rabervik, and Nick Lameau finishing top 10.
The swimming and diving teams will compete at the Nebraska Tri-Duels in Lincoln on Saturday. The men will join the women on the trip after the women competed last weekend against the Minnesota State Mavericks in Mankato. The Coyotes defeated the Mavericks 184-115, winning 13 of the 14 total events at the meet. South Dakota's win improved them to 7-1 against the Mavericks since 2014.
The soccer team will stay at home to play Kansas City on Friday. They'll try for their 3rd straight victory after defeating Western Illinois and St. Thomas last week. In their first game of the week, the Coyotes defeated Western Illinois 3-2 with Taylor Cotter netting the game winner. Against St. Thomas, the Coyotes were held to just 1 shot in the first half, but 2 goals after the 75th minute would be all they needed to win the game 2-1.
That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students what they regret and why. Stay tuned to find out.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, this is your Uncle Tom.
Hey, Tom.
I was just wondering, how's school going there for you, kid? I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but I'm just kind of in a rush because they only let you have a 1.5 minute call when you get booked at the police station.
Jeez. What do you mean you're in jail? You want $400 again? Are you serious?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to see your uncle in a cage, then that's your prerogative. And I mean, probably should have wasted my
Come on.
phone call on your dad.
Whoa.
Would have got the same answer.
Yeah, you probably would have, because you're an animal and you belong in a cage.
Thanks again here for being there for me. I know that you really care a lot about me and my well-being.
Well, you don't care about my well-being. You're trying to take my money so you can just continue to be a criminal. That's fine then.
You got 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, we'll go to rehab.
This is Coyote News.
We all have those things that we wish we didn't do or something we wish we could have done.
That's why this week we asked students what their biggest regret was and why.
Here's what they had to say.
I regret eating my leftover pancakes this morning for breakfast because they were not very good.
I regret not getting to know my mom better before she died.
I regret not playing sports because I'm really tall and I think I'm a waste of height and I could have been really athletic.
Not learning how to study in high school because it's kind of kicking my butt now.
Ordering boba because they fill the bowl up halfway and I'm still hungry after.
When I was little, my grandma had this little ceramic cat and I pushed it down the stairs of the basement and broke it.
Not taking enough dual credits in high school because I think I would have gotten a lot of college courses out of the way.
I regret getting a bowl cut in 6th grade.
I just wish I went to a school where I knew more people and where like the students were a little more involved in like athletics and stuff like that.
Not telling like my friends or family that I love them.
Not going pee before going back to Sioux Falls. Those car rides, they're not short, I mean they're not long, but like it gets to me sometimes.
I might regret some roommate choices.
I would have to regret probably nothing. I like to live in the moment, and I choose not to have any regrets. September 22nd marked the first day of autumn this year, but it's taken until this week to finally start feeling like fall. Michael, do you think we're going to stay in the colder temperatures, or is it going to fluctuate?
I think since we're in South Dakota, we're going to have a little bit of gotcha moments, but I think eventually we're going to start cooling down like we are right now.
I really hope not, but you're probably right. Did you know that leaves, they're turning their real color in the fall?
I did not know that.
Yeah, because the plants have the chemical in them that makes them green for the rest of the year, but when the temperatures dip, the chemical freezes and the colors appear. The more you know. This week, we asked our followers what their favorite part of fall is.
And I would have to personally say maybe just the changing of weather, but what about you?
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised, though, that colder weather is higher than a pumpkin patch. I take that as, personally.
I do agree. I think that's a little bit weird. But follow our Twitter page at USD Coyote News to take part in our weekly polls.
A Rapid City teenager had her first national TV debut on NBC's The Voice. 16-year-old Rowan Grace performed Olivia Rodrigo's song Traitor in front of a live audience, as well as millions watching at home. After hearing her sing, 3 of the 4 judges turned their chairs almost immediately. John Legend even gave her a standing ovation. He said, "They don't get a lot of South Dakotans auditioning." Rowan Grace is now on Gwen Stefani's team and will be moving on the next round of the competition.
And that's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the volant for a feature on Vermilion's new authentic Mexican food truck.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.